we need to step back in time a little bit. I wanted to show you this thicket of the bush honeysuckle that was in the rear of our yard. I had filmed it before, so you may have seen a little bits of this film here, but I wanted to update you. We had the dead ash tree back there just in front of that honeysuckle thicket, and we had that all removed in March. There was so much brush, we probably gained about 30 feet in yard space there, in depth into our yard, and it's about maybe 50 or 60 feet wide right there. There was a maple tree that had a lot of Virginia creeper on it, in amongst all that little bit of poison ivy, Virginia creeper. So for the rest of the year of 2022 and 2023, I pulled out all the Virginia creeper and carefully removed every sprig of poison ivy I could find. Now, early in February of 24, I noticed our huge hackberry tree was splitting. I was walking through the yard and I thought, there's a crack there and I can see straight through it. So there goes the accounts again. Find the money to have the tree companies come out, which we did. This is an emergency. It could fall down on our house, crush the house. It wasn't really close enough to crush a neighbor or anything like that, but it could sure cave in my house pretty bad. This was a huge, probably 75-year-old tree, if not older. So the guys, we had several quotes. I think it was 4 different companies they came out, and we chose this guy, Kindercare. He's in the Dayton and surrounding areas here in Southwest Ohio. But they did a very, very good job. They had, I don't even know what to call that equipment. They had the thing that takes a little bucket up into the tall trees to trim them, because we had trees topped off too. And then they had all the equipment to get rid of the trees. You see that big long rotted split there, which was probably like 8-foot strip. He said water has gotten into it from a lightning strike and probably rotted it out. And once fungus took over, it was just a matter of time before it went down. So at least we saw it and got it taken care of. So they were doing this in early March. But as I said, while the man worked on the main sawing and cutting down and trimming, the guys just cleaned. It was an ongoing, constant cleanup. So they did a good job, kept the yard nice. The little machine, whatever that little thing with a claw in front is, it came around and picked up the pieces of wood. They hauled them off, took them out to, I guess, either to their place to grind them into mulch. I don't know. He has a pretty big operation, so that's probably what they did. But they were careful of our yard. Now my yew tree, after we considered the fencing and everything we wanted, the yew tree had to go. And I really love that yew tree. I hated to see it go, but it had to, because it was basically on the line of where the fence would need to go. The tree would have to be sliced in half, and I either use a piece of my yard or purchase a piece of the neighbor's yard to extend my fence. So no, we just went in there, took it out, ground that stump down, and it was a massively huge tree in there. Once the stump was ground out and everything hauled away for it, and yes, they did meticulously clean up everything that had to be cleaned up. I was very impressed with that company. But once we got care of that, and then the fencing people came out and measured everything, and we did have to get a permit. I did have to have a zoning permit for a fence. Then the guy said he would start on the fence. I went through several fencing companies, had several quotes. This guy was the best. He did not ask for upfront money. We would only pay him after the job was done and we were satisfied. That is the sign of an excellent workman. At least that's my opinion. So I felt very, very comfortable with him, and they did a very, very good job. Now, the permit here in our township cost us $50 to apply, and it took about maybe a week for them to grant it. But then once the guys had everything delivered and they could get us on their schedule, because spring is a hard schedule for fencing people, it took, if I remember correctly, about 2 days to get it up. They may have worked into the third day, but it was done, and it looked so good. The workers were so polite and so nice, and I really, really was impressed with their work ethic, because they just worked and worked and worked until it was all done. And then, unbeknownst to us, they even power washed the end of our driveway where it got all muddy and everything from the trucks going in and out and the delivery of the wood. They did such a good job and topped it off by power washing that area. Now that's the sign of a good company. Believe me, that impressed me a lot. But we enjoyed this all summer long, all fall. It was so nice to be private. So I really, really love my new fence.